When you are really in the receiving mode, there is not any however. You see, the receiving mode, this isn't like a college degree where once you get it, it's yours forevermore. It either is or it isn't in the moment. When you are aware of your life mostly from the manifestational stance in which you are standing, where you're seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching the present outcomes, the present outcomes, the present outcomes, there's not enough leverage in that awareness to really have any power. All the power is over here in a better feeling place. And so that's why we use words like trying too hard or too much effort. It's like pushing a noodle. You just can't get it done. And so what that requires is starting again. And we don't mean starting over. We mean in this moment, releasing all the resistance and then finding a new alignment and then proceeding. But if you start in the middle and proceed, then you bring your attention with you. So now think about, you're really going to like this, getting ready to be ready to be ready, getting ready to be ready to be ready to be ready. You're following that. We like that you're getting that. So satisfaction all the way along, satisfied and more, satisfied and more, satisfied and more, satisfied and more. There's no tension in satisfied. When you're in this place of satisfaction and you allow yourself to stay there almost mindlessly, because you're not doing that thing that slows any momentum down, the natural law of attraction must make that momentum more. So when a no resisted state of being receives more momentum, there's still no resistance, but it's moving faster, and there's still no resistance and it's moving faster, and there's still no resistance and it's moving faster. But if you're jumping over here where there already is resistance, and then you're adding momentum and adding momentum, then you're adding the momentum of desire and the momentum of belief. And so now it's like law of attraction is responding to both vibrational aspects of you, which is causing the tension to get greater and greater and greater and greater. Here's a good analogy. So I have a desire, and my desire in this analogy is represented by an engine, a powerful engine like a locomotive. I'm a train on a track that's flat. There's no mountain. It's just a flat plane. And I put an engine over there. That's my engine of desire. And then I believe something in opposition. I say a but, and I put an engine that's equal going in the opposite direction, which makes me want this more. So I put another engine over there, which makes me doubt it more. So I put another engine over there, which makes me want it more. So I put another engine over there, which makes me doubt it more. So I put another engine over there. So now I've got all these powerful engines pulling in opposition to each other. And I can't help it because I have all of these beliefs. I have desires and beliefs, both of which I've picked up along my physical trail, that are working in opposition with each other. So I have to reframe myself. I have to reteach myself, because over here I believe, if I'm like most humans, I believe that I'm not all that worthy or things would be going better. And I believe that source is in a better place than I am, and that I've been put here to be tested. And I believe that others are doing better than I am because they're smarter than I am, or they were born in a better place, or they're applying the laws of the universe better, or they've been reading more Abraham books. I believe things that work against me. I don't mean to believe them, but I've observed, and then I've come to flawed premises. So I have beliefs, if I'm like most humans, that are not serving me. And so I've got desires and beliefs that don't serve me. And if I keep just starting there, then I build momentum by my attention to my subjects. Here's another way of saying it. Every subject is really two subjects, wanted and absence of what is wanted. That makes sense to you, doesn't it? So let's say I'm activating within myself the subject called prosperity. So I, in essence, pick up a stick with prosperity written on it, and what is wanted is on one end, and lack of what is wanted is on the other end. And as I pick up that stick, I already have a pattern of vibration about it. I got it from my mother, who told me every day that we didn't have enough money and that I shouldn't ask for things they couldn't afford. I got it from my community that was always asking for more taxes for this and that and the other. I picked it up in a lot of different places, but I have a belief about this natural desire that is not serving me. And without knowing it, every time I talk about prosperity, I activate both my desire part of it and my belief part of it. And if I keep talking about it in this flawed place, both ends will get bigger and the tension will get stronger. Law of attraction is responding to my thoughts called beliefs, just like law of attraction is responding to my thoughts called desires. And so when I think about money, I think about wanting it and not having enough, and wanting it and not having enough, and wanting it and not having enough. And so I'm building up that tension. But that's because I'm approaching life in the action. That's because I'm approaching life out here in the manifestation. That's because I'm looking at other people and how they're prospering, and I'm looking at how they're living, and I'm measuring myself against them, and I'm trying to make it about action, and I'm trying to make it about how much I can earn per hour, and I'm trying to make it about stuff that it isn't about. But what if that was finally so exhausting and my head hurts so much that I just say, I give up. I give up. I give it up. I'm tired. I'm too tired to fight my own battle with myself anymore. I'm going to take 15 minutes and I'm going to start over. I'm going to quiet my mind of this. So everyone is reaching for this satisfaction, and we want to use the word satisfaction because it's a different word than you usually use when you say I want to live happily ever after. It's a different word than you usually use when you mean success. I want success. We've been saying for a long time that success is the joy you feel, the happiness you feel, or the satisfaction that you feel. But there's something about exploring why something is more satisfying than something else is. So if for a little while, whenever you find yourself in a state of satisfaction, just stop and ask yourself, why do I feel so satisfied right now? Is it because I'm alone and my thoughts are clear? Is it because of the ambience? Why does this feel so satisfying to me? And as you ask that question, what's going to happen to you is you're going to become consciously aware of what you're doing with the energy in the moment. What am I doing with the energy? It doesn't have anything to do with what anybody else is doing, with what anybody else has created. It doesn't have anything to do with what you've ever created, really. What am I doing with my focus right now? And as you start figuring it out, that, well, because this is what the answer is going to come to over and over again, no matter what the subject, if you feel satisfied, these are the answers that are going to occur to you. You're going to say, oh, I'm in a state of non-resistance. And if the satisfaction is high, I'm in a state of non-resistance, and I've been focusing enough that there's some momentum going toward the unfolding or the evolution of the expanding of my desire. My desire is growing without hindrance. That's what the feeling of satisfaction is. My desire is growing without hindrance. You could focus upon a lot of things that are already in your experience with appreciation, and that causes momentum to expand, which brings more satisfaction. If you're not feeling satisfaction, you're not in the receiving mode. So could you be looking at something that you want that has not yet manifested and feel satisfaction at the same time? It's not logical to have something that you want and be looking right at the absence of it and be feeling satisfaction at the same time. Can you turn on a television program and listen to it and feel whether it's satisfying to you or not? And once you've made that determination, do you think that you now have a stronger impetus or wisdom to move in the direction of what is satisfying and therefore away from the direction of what isn't satisfying? That's this new piece that you are so ready to begin applying. What causes my satisfaction? You know what your satisfaction is? Your satisfaction is being one with who you are. Your satisfaction is having no gap between you and your inner being. But your inner being has expanded so much just now. Your inner being keeps being more. You got to keep up. You got to vibrationally keep up. You caused your inner being to expand. If you don't keep up, then you don't feel satisfaction. So satisfaction is the basis of my happiness. Satisfaction is the basis of my success. Let me call it satisfied instead of happy. And let me call it satisfied instead of successful. And let me call it satisfied instead of manifestation. You know that feeling. Don't you know that feeling? That's nice. This feels so good. Satisfaction. Then you're off and running. There will be momentum building quickly toward the things that matter to you. And the resistance that has been hindering you about things that really matter to you will begin dissipating so quickly that your receptive mode of being aware, your feeling of what to do, your impulses are going to be so keen that new found mood that will continue to gather momentum until you will really own it is the greatest tool or advantage that we've ever been able to point you toward.